to the Walk the Line podcast. Real stories of real people.
Little countdown. Guys, hello. Welcome again to the Walk the Line podcast. And I've got a very special guest with me today. Antonia, how you doing?
Thanks, great. Hello, everybody.
Whereabouts you calling from today, Antonia?
Today I'm in Vilnius, Lithuania.
Oh, okay. What you doing there?
I can say I live here now because my boyfriend is Lithuanian. So
Right. So you're like kind of shacked up in Lithuania. That's good. I've never been to Lithuania before. I've got a few Lithuanian friends. I think I work with one actually, and they keep talking to me about it. And I've always wanted to go. One of those.
it's a beautiful country, especially Vilnius is an amazing city. I have
Really?
very nice old town. Yeah.
The old sort of architecture and the old buildings. I love that. I'm a big history buff, and I love all the history and stuff like that. And that is right up my street. So, but Antonia, it's been an absolute pleasure having you come on. When I got sent your details and everything about you, I was like, oh my God. I read over it and I literally said to myself, what have I done with my life? I felt as if I've not achieved anything. So people who don't know who you are and what you've achieved, give a little bit of an outline of what you've previously been up to.
I am Antonia Samoilova from Ukraine, and I climbed several big mountains, including Everest. Everest I climbed 3 times. I had the luck to do that. And also 5 more 8,000ers. And I became first Ukrainian to complete the 5 highest mountains on Earth. But most of all, what I want to say about myself is that mountains completely changed my life. And I'm super happy that once I went to my first mountain, Kilimanjaro, and I got on this path of my life.
I can imagine that makes me feel tired just listening to what you've done. I get out of breath walking up the stairs, from my house. This is what we are right now. This is making me feel so inadequate as a person right now. So you mentioned as well the mountains and climbing all these. What I have to ask the question: what made you want to do this?
Well, honestly speaking, it wasn't from the first time like that I fell in love with mountains. No. After my first mountain, I was so destroyed. I wasn't impressed. Like, I was impressed in a bad way, and I told myself, that's it, my first and last mountain, never again. Bye-bye. And then somehow 2 more mountains happened, but as well, like up to 6,000. And still, it was like, some kind of a journey. Like, instead of going to the sea, with friends, we were going to mountains. And every time I was like, not so comfortable there. Of course, I'm always not comfortable there, but I mean, I didn't feel that it's like something wow. But then Antarctica happened. It was my expedition to the highest point of Antarctica, Mount Everest, and this is truly amazing journey. So this expedition changed everything, and I fell in love with mountains forever, probably.
So you went to. Was that before you did Everest, or was that after?
It was before. Yeah, it was my first serious expedition in 2021. I went there alone with no friends, with completely, with strangers. And I went to this very tough place, for 2 weeks, actually even more. And the whole other world opened to me, It happened after breakup. So I had, it was like it's always about some kind of
You know,
doing a drama.
I was going to say breakups do a lot, but I don't think I've had a lot of breakups in my life, Antonia, but I don't think I've wanted to travel to the North Pole for it. I think I normally just go to the pub and get drunk. You know, that's what I do. You know, instead, no. Let's go for an expedition somewhere. Why don't we?
Yeah, but probably it was quite a difficult breakup, so I should go somewhere further than to the nearest bar, because bar is also an option, but
Yeah.
in that case, Antarctica helped me to recover, first of all, and at some point I understood that it's like the whole different life now starting for me, and I was like, like I was a separate person, and I understood my worth, and
Yeah.
that's I'm Tonya, and that's enough. Like it's like I'm interesting to people just because who am I, not because I am like in a couple with somebody, with some cool guy.
That's fair. So, see, what was leading up to like going off to the huge expedition you went on? I mean, what sort of preparation did you have to do? Did you do any training, or did you do anything to kind of build yourself up, or did you just pack a suitcase and go?
The last option.
Did you really?
I mean,
God.
yeah, it's like very tricky to say this to a big audience, because then people can take it like an example, and it's very bad example. It's just
Right.
like my case.
Yeah.
I can say about myself, yeah, both with Antarctica and my first Everest, it was approximately like that. Just pack the backpack and go, because like Antarctica happened after 2 weeks, when like 2 weeks after my decision. So I was just like scrolling on Instagram. I saw this announcement about the last place in Antarctica expedition. I called the company, asked whether they still have it. They said yes. I transferred the money, and in 2 weeks I should go. So I just didn't have any time for preparation, and yeah, I barely had time to just to pack to buy everything, because
Yeah.
it's very cold there. You should buy all this serious stuff. So this was my Vincent expedition. Very unexpected. No, how to say, very rapid, I would say. Yeah, what is the proper word to say? And then Everest happened after 4 months.
4 months after you went to the Antarctic.
Yes. So my Vincent was in January, and Everest, I was standing on the top of Everest for the first time on 12th of May.
God, Jane.
And yeah, and actually how I found myself in the Himalayas at all, I mean, Everest wasn't planned at all, because I was just searching the place where to go because of the war in Ukraine. I was abroad when it started.
Right.
So I was searching options, like where to go and to spend this like first month, because everybody thought it would finish quite fast. And I decided to myself, I'll go to Himalayas because I've never been there, because it's my dream to go on a trekking. So I came actually to Nepal to do some trekking.
And then you ended up going up the mountain.
Yeah, and I decided to go to Everest as well, like 2 weeks before expedition started.
Was it one of those sort of things when you're trekking and it was like a peer pressure sort of thing? Like someone said to you, Antonia, I bet you couldn't climb Mount Everest. And I was like, yeah, I bet you I can. And next day you're off, you know.
She was approximately like that. Like, I mean, it was so spontaneous, and I didn't believe in myself. It was a person, the Tashi, who is my friend now. He is the leader of expedition on Everest in one of the biggest companies, probably is the biggest one in the world. It's Nepali company,
Right.
and he's Sherpa, and he saw me in a coffee shop in Kathmandu, and we started conversation. And actually, he saw me before in Antarctica. I just didn't remember him. Yeah, and he told me like, "What are your plans?" He asked me what were my plans. I said probably trekking. Then he said, "Go to Everest," and because like it wasn't any Ukrainian on the mountain at that year due to circumstances, and I said, "No, it's impossible." I started to laugh. I said like, "It's no, I'm not ready at all." Of course I had a dream to go to Everest one day, like in 10 years when I will be preparing like very hard and etc. And at that point, I was 33 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy is telling me go to Everest like in 2 weeks. Of course, it was like a joke, but then this like it came to my mind and didn't go away. Then I talked with my father. I told him like, look, this and this, and he said, you should go and try. And if you do not succeed, that's it. But if you succeed,
Well, yeah. That's it. Well,
and it happened like this. And I went.
Great that you actually your family helped you. Your father could I give you the because I tell you, as a father myself, if I was sitting there and I'm just getting a phone call, you're off doing my daughter's off doing her stuff and goes, hey, Dad, I'm going to do Everest. I'm like, no, you're fucking not. You know what I mean? Get your ass back down here. We've talked about this. Stop. We talked about you did the South Pole, you did the Antarctic. That's enough now. Don't need any more crazy stuff in it. No, I'm going to do it. See you later. See you in a couple of weeks. God, so you got you got there. You went into Everest. I mean, you see all these sort of like kind of really how would I say? I want to say horror stories and dangerous. How dangerous it actually is. What was your mindset at the bottom? You're right at the very start. You're looking. Well, I would imagine you're looking up at it.
Yeah.
What was going through your head at that point?
I was very determined. I understood that was the chance of my life, and I grabbed that chance. And I understood that maybe this will never happen again. So I was super concentrated on. I was concentrated on the expedition, but not over. Because sometimes people are over concentrating on the summit.
Right.
And this is when problems start because they do not value their lives at this moment. Yeah, they do not understand which danger they are putting them into, because the only goal is to reach the summit, but the main goal is to come back with the summit like a bonus.
A lot of people don't understand that just because you get to the summit, that's halfway. You've still got to come
halfway
down. Yeah,
exactly. And this is it is the halfway where you're already super exhausted. And the biggest problem and mistake people do on these high mountains is that they give like 90% of their effort, 95, reaching the summit. And then how you can go down with this 5% of your energy and power? It's impossible. And that's how people actually die. I think it's like quite famous fact that most deaths are happening on the descent.
Crazy that. Did you have any sort of like any sort of like hazards? Did you go through anything that kind of dodgy things happen on the way up?
My first Everest was quite good. It was quite easy, I could say, if we can say that about Everest. I mean, the weather was perfect. Conditions were perfect. I felt quite healthy. My body was strong. Yeah, maybe I wasn't that strong and so trained as I was on my next mountains. Yeah, but I had this natural inner power, and I felt it in me. When you just it's like an animal power inside. Yeah, and actually, I was very lucky with all the conditions, which I wasn't influencing on. Yeah, so I was believing in this guy, this Tashi, who just told me, listen to what I'm saying. Yeah, you will use this and this scheme. You will go for this and this rotation, and that's it. And I trusted him. I trusted myself, and that's it. And what I also understand now that I was enjoying a lot. The whole new world, it just, absorbed me. I loved everything about this expedition. Like every day, every hour, so many new people and friends I met there. So it was not a struggle for me. It was completely interesting and new journey.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine they say that it's similar to when like, underwater. They say when you go underwater, it's like an alien planet. It doesn't seem like you're on the Earth. And they also say that when you go up higher, so if you go into Everest or these mountains, it's completely different from what you're used to.
Exactly. It's like when you are on the altitude higher than 7,000, for example, yeah, it feels like you're in a cosmos, problem in a space.
Oh yeah.
It's like, uh, so, first of all, it's hypoxia, and the lack of oxygen changes everything.
How do you combat that? Because I can imagine the lack of oxygen is a major problem as well. Was how how do you get used to that?
It's all about the time which you spend on the mountain
Right.
and how you do your acclimatization. So the main word in mountains is acclimatization.
Okay.
Without it, even the strongest sportsman, I don't know, like Olympic champion, uh, will be destroyed with an altitude. Yeah. And the only thing that matters is the time which you spend on altitude on every, like, on in every camp. Yeah. So on Everest, for example, we have 4 high camps and a base camp. And it matters how much you spend in the base camp before you're going for your first rotation. Rotation is actually this acclimatization process. So you go up and down. And this is the main thing in big mountains. Yeah, you can't go you cannot start from bottom and reach the top like slow, just, I don't know, in 2 weeks. It's impossible.
Right.
Even if you are super strong, you need to go step by step, then come back down, rest, and go up again.
Oh wow.
That's why,
So you're not
yeah,
actually
listen,
you're not just doing it in one fell swoop. You have to go up
no,
and oh wow, I didn't realize that. So technically,
yeah,
you kind of like went up and down about 4 or 5 times then, haven't you? Before you've done it once.
exactly. It's like, no, okay, you're going like 1, 2 times up and down. Yeah. So you do at least one rotation and better to do it till point of 7,000 meters
Right.
around that. Yeah. So your body gets used to this altitude. Then you go down, it relaxes and rests, and then up again. Otherwise, it just, you can have, uh, you can what's the edema,
Yeah, like the
lung,
sickness. Yeah.
yeah, lung and brain edema, and that's it, you're done.
How
And everybody
much?
can get this.
How much time do you have to wait between like rotations?
um as much as you need to recover,
Ah, okay. So it could be
actually. Yeah,
different. Each one could be different. Each person.
yeah, and also it depends on the weather a lot
Sure.
in mountains.
Yeah.
It's the main factor, yeah, which allows us or doesn't allow to go up. The
Right.
weather and weather window. So everybody is waiting for weather window. And while you are doing rotations, because you are lower, it's okay to go not in the best weather conditions. But when you go to the top, you need to choose the best day in the season, yeah, like the best day in this weather window. So doing rotations, you are like acclimatizing, but also waiting for the weather window. And then sometimes it can happen completely different. I've been 3 times there, yeah. 3 times were every time was different.
Right.
First year was amazing weather conditions, so I wasn't waiting long. It was a couple of days in the base camp, and I went for the summit push. The second Everest, first of all, I had COVID. It was disaster.
Oh no way.
I was super sick, yeah. But also weather conditions were very bad. It's like 18 people died on that expedition in 2023 because of the weather. And yeah, it was cold and awful conditions. And we were waiting for the window very long. I don't know how much I spent in base camp. I even went down because of I flew down to recover because I had this awful COVID. And
I can't believe you climbed Everest while with COVID. I think that you must be
yeah,
like the only person in the world to do that. That's amazing.
I'm not the only one for sure.
Okay, okay.
Uh, I know cases when people climbed in 2021, probably. Yeah, it was the first year after the pandemic.
Pandemic, yeah.
When they opened mountain, yeah. And as I remember, several people were going up with COVID as well, yeah. But it happened with me as well, and I could say it's the worst probably which can
I
happen.
don't blame you. Well, it's a good way to clear you out, you know what I mean? Because everyone says if you've got a cold or stuff like that, like get outside and get the fresh air. That's to the extreme, that is, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah, that was a very big challenge for me. At one point, I was sure that I will be evacuated.
Oh, okay.
6,500 meters. Yeah, I felt very bad. I could hardly reach the camp. It was camp 2.
Right.
I was going twice slower than usually people do. And it was for me like reaching the summit, you know. But I told myself if I can wake up next morning and go to the dining tent and have breakfast, then I'll stay a bit more and I will try to proceed.
Try again.
And this is how I was pushing myself every step. And second Everest was the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Is that because of the COVID situation you had in, or was there other factors on top as well?
COVID was the main factor.
Yeah.
The weather, the bad weather, and you know, when it was like the pressure from all the sides, this news, this guy was sick, this guy died, etc. It also presses you. But to be honest, I have quite stable like mental mentality, yeah?
Yeah.
So it doesn't influence me so much. I know that my way is my way and other way is to others, yeah. But I was struggling just with COVID, and all my doubts inside were connected only with my own feelings, like how I felt myself, and I felt very bad, very weak,
Okay.
coughing constantly, and fever and weakness.
Do you still, when you go up, I don't know, the people have, you always read things about Everest and stuff. They say that there's still like, the dead bodies are still there. Is that true?
Yeah,
They're
that's
still
true.
there. They don't.
Yes, that's
Oh
so-
my God.
Not so many as were before, because at one point all the bodies from the very beginning of the history of climbing Everest
Yeah.
till the probably 2020, I think, all the bodies were on the mountain. It was like a big fridge, you know, a freezer.
Did that not?
But-
What would it? I mean, going past these people, these bodies, that must freak you out. It must like kind of do something to you, surely.
At one point, yes, but when you are at 8,000 meters, you feel a bit like a zombie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the feelings, they change a little bit. Yeah, maybe not a little bit. So you so much concentrate on reaching the summit on yourself, and it's okay. It's normal to concentrate on yourself, on how you step and make every step. Yeah. So when you see this dead body, it doesn't impress you so much. I don't know, maybe because of this altitude as well. We are a bit, all of us are a bit zombies. And if you will be too emotional about the person who already died, you can make harm to yourself, you know, and you can spoil your way up. And in this case, you just watch with interest, maybe, sometimes even don't watch, just passing by.
Just don't worry about it and just kind of head down, just get
Yeah.
away from it. Yeah, best way to do it.
Exactly. Especially about old bodies. I mean, those bodies who were already like long time there. Yeah.
Okay.
If it's like I don't know whether it's good to say, if it's like fresh body, yeah, and the person just died maybe one day before, it influences more.
So they're that fresh. I would say that fresh. That's a horrible way to describe it, but
Yeah.
that soon sort of thing. There's actually people there, dead bodies there from like a few days ago.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that freak.
Because now in Nepal they have a program of bringing bodies down. Yeah, what I said, like from 2021 maybe they started to bring those bodies down, and now as well, people who die on the mountain, they are mostly brought down. If it's not like the very top or the last like 100 meters, yeah, where it's very hard to take somebody down. In other cases, they're taking them down. So if you see the body, that means now, for example, in 2026, it means it's like quite fresh.
Oh wow, that's mental. That's a proper. I was going to say a proper head fuck sort of thing. You know, being a proper messes up with you. But we're talking about one thing that I noticed as well is when you're on top. I'm not sure what time this was. You took an absolutely stunning drone footage of the top of the summit, didn't you? And I noticed. I've saw it before. I've seen it before, but I didn't realize that was. I was like, oh my god, I've seen that. And if you're listening to this, guys, if you've not seen it, go onto Antonia's website. She's got a really massive, cool picture there, and it is absolutely stunning. Of that, the top of it. I mean, did you take the drone with you and just fly it around, sort of thing?
We took the drone with us. Me and my cameraman Sandra from UK. We were filming the whole expedition of my second Everest, and we didn't know how it would work, to be honest, because it was the very new experience to everybody to bring the drone to the top of Everest, and to save the batteries, and who knows how it will work? Like helicopters are not flying there, so where is the guarantee?
The lift can they? Because the air's not there for the lift, is it? Because the oxygen's not there. Is that right?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But everything worked perfectly. It was like such a nice morning, amazing weather, very clear. The sun just was going up. Yeah, and he took his drone. I remember this moment so good now, you know. He took the drone from the backpack and this sound like and it flew up.
Off it went.
And he made the 1.5 round over the top of Everest, and it was amazing.
It's the way the clouds are when you're actually above the clouds and you can see the clouds, and it looks like I don't know, like a blanket going across, doesn't it? And it's like snow going across. It doesn't look real. I'm like, oh my god, that's clouds. They're in the atmosphere. Are you guys in space? You're literally closer to space than you are to the ground. You know, that's the craziest part about it, which is absolutely mental. So you did 3 times, I take it. What possessed you to do a third time then?
I wanted to do 2 mountains in one day, 2 8,000ers, Everest and Lhotse. I had this idea.
I take it. You're not. Sorry, I don't think you should be left alone to come up with these ideas. I think every time you go on, you sit there and have a chill out. You come up with a crazy idea. You did 2 in one day.
2 in one day, yeah, and I managed.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was quite interesting because I wasn't sure about myself till the very end, how I will feel on the second mountain, yeah? Because I know how you are exhausted when you are coming back from Everest. My first Everest, and after the descent to Camp 4, I was completely destroyed. I couldn't move. I couldn't take my boots off. I was passing out. Yeah, it's so hard. And usually all people feel like that. And after second Everest as well, I understood that it's like very hard and challenging. So even for me, it was not clear whether it's how it will go.
Yeah,
you know. And at the end, somehow I felt very strong on the second mountain.
We call that a second wind over here in the UK.
Second wind, yes. It was like second wind, or maybe I was so much acclimatized, because Everest is higher. I don't know, but I went really fast, and we made actually again the video, the drone shot.
Right.
With Ukrainian flag on Mount Lhotse, and Everest was just behind. Also amazing video with the same cameraman with Sandra. Yeah, beautiful.
That's something to show the grandkids when you get older. You know what I mean? It's just like,
yes.
Guess what your grandmother did? I climbed Everest. No, you didn't. Sit down, have a look at this. They're like, oh my god. You're crazy. So
Yeah, like that.
so you've done all this. I mean, what's next for you now? You've done you climbed Everest. You know, you've come down. You've done all these extraordinary things. Anything on the bucket list that you're looking to do next?
I want to finish all 14 8,000ers. It's like the crown of Earth.
Right.
This is probably the program which is the dream for any alpinist and mountaineer. So I have already 6 in my pocket, 8 left. This is my goal.
So these are the ones that are all the mountains all around the world that are above 8,000 feet.
Yes,
And you-
and there's 14 of them. Yeah.
14 of them. Where are they? Like, all around the world, not just in like the Himalayas. Are they in different continents and such like? Yeah.
No, they're all in Asia, and actually, 9 of them in Himalayas,
Oh wow.
7 in Nepal, 2 in Tibet in China, and 5 in Karakoram in Pakistan.
Oh wow. So yes, they're all around that sort of area. Christ. That's mental.
Yeah.
I have actually seen the start of the Himalayas. They always say at the start of it when I was traveling. I was out in Afghanistan, and it was beautiful spring day, blue skies and all that. And it's great. I was standing. I think it was on like a platform or something about 20 feet up there. And one of the guys I was with, he goes, look over there, and it was a beautiful mountain range going across the top. And down here it was like 30 degrees, so it was really hot.
Oh.
And then up there was snow up there, and I was like, wow, what the hell's that? And he went, that's the very start of the Himalayas. It goes across, and it goes across India, then into Nepal. And I was like, no way. And even that looks stunning, and that looked high. So God knows, I'm just like, what? But it's that is absolutely fantastic. That's fascinating. How have you given yourself like a time frame to do this, or is it just whenever you can get sorted, really?
If you would ask me this 1 year ago or 2 years ago, I would say, yeah, I want to do it as fast as possible, of course. But now I have different approach. I just want to enjoy. If I have a possibility to make, for example, to climb 2 mountains in a season, I would be happy. If I can do one, also good, yeah. And I am not in a rush. Of course, I would like to do it, maybe before my 40s, and then to have kids, because with
Settle
kids
down.
probably I wouldn't go.
You can just slap one in the back, you can just take them with you. It'll be fine. See, get them up there. The younger they are, the better they'll be when they're older. That's what I say. Get involved out there. So you've got that sort of you're nearly halfway there, to be quite honest with you, Antonia. So you've not got too long. That's gonna be good. So you came back and you've kind of swapped. I was going to say this is going to be a bit of a cliche sort of statement. You've swapped the perilous journey of the Alps and the Himalayas and all that to be basically kind of talking to people and being on stage a few times. How was that? Like telling your story and being on stage and well, I wouldn't say influencing, but motivating people.
It's very new experience to me, and I enjoyed it very much because when I see how my story inspires people, especially women, and I see this, burning eyes watching at me, and when women coming to me and saying, I was afraid to do something like that and that in my life, but now after your story, I have courage enough to go and do, and I will do this first step because I'm always telling about the importance of first step. Towards your dreams, despite your fears, because the only thing that stops us from everything is fear. So, when you somehow cope with it and you make this first step, sometimes just with closed eyes, your life changes. I truly believe in this, and I want to deliver this message to people, and I see that it has very big resonance in people's hearts, especially in women. And for me, it's one more, one more summit maybe to inspire other hearts.
Oh,
Lions.
that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it. It's like the cherry on top. So I think it's the jewel of the crown when you win it, when you first complete it. You
Yeah.
can put that jewel. But so what's next? You mean you're going to do the crown? Anything coming up in the next recently sort of thing? You doing any like that engagements that people might be able to catch up on?
I want to climb Nanga Parbat, which is in Karakoram this June.
Right. Okay.
Uh,
Is that part of the crown?
Yeah,
So that's the next
a
one.
part of
How
the
how
crown,
how
yeah.
tall is that?
Uh, oh, it's a shame. I don't know for sure. For sure, higher than 8,000. It's like 8,000. I don't want to lie. I need to check. Oh,
Ah, sorry. So I'll
shame
just.
on me. It's around
I know.
it is somewhere in the middle of all these 14.
Up there.
Oh.
It's in there somewhere. It's in there. So you're going to go. And whereabouts is that? Is that in Asia again? Is it
It's in Pakistan.
Pakistan? Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be June time. You'll be up there again,
Yeah.
making memories.
Going back to this beautiful country, which, oh my God, I was going through so much in this country when I was at K2 expedition. So I can't wait to see it again, you know?
It's like your second home now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good. You've probably spent more time there than you have in normal sort of places. So I think, all right, brilliant. All right. So Antonia, where could people find you if they want to take a catch up with you and is there any sort of socials they can get hold of you?
I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
My page, my page is Tonia.Samoilova, and also I have my website with all the links and then some basic information. That's actually where people can find me.
There you go. So guys, if you're listening and you fancy climbing Mount Everest or you want some inspiration and some guidance, hit Antonia up, send her a DM. I'm sure she'll be able to help you. She might even drag you along to our next one.
Probably.
Probably. Oh God, yeah. Oh my God. That's not an invitation for me, by the way, because I'm definitely could be able to do that. Just give you a heads up on that one. Well, all your socials, Antonia. I'll put all your the guys listening. Look in the description below. You'll find all ways to get in touch with Antonia. Follow her journey of what she's been doing and what she's going to be doing over the next couple of years. Because I guarantee you, it's going to be eventful. Antonia, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. Your story's been fantastic, and it's been great to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.